Pesachim Daf. Pesachim goes like this. Orlar ba'asar b'itkin asachamis laraner. Already have trouble. What's the pshat? Gemara is going to discuss it. Usually we, okay, the conclusion of the Gemara means the night of. But you should just know it's the Gemara is going to challenge that at the beginning. So the night of the 14th, we search for chametz to the light of a candle. Now Rashi learns here, what are we doing? We don't want to violate Bal Yira, Bal Yimatzei. We don't want to violate the prohibition of owning chametz, of having chametz in our possession. Tosfos says that for that you can just do bittul.
You want to shut people's mics?
Yeah. That you can just do bittul. You can nullify it. You can say that the chametz that I own is worthless and it's kafir da'ara. And so what are we concerned about here if that's the case? So he says the concern is that you might come across it and eat it. You might see the chametz and eat it. So the kasha and Tosfos is that we never find that you have to search for other things. If you have arla, you don't have to search. What are you worried about? That you're going to eat something? You don't have to search for anything else. So Tosfos says, yeah, but chametz, you have it the whole year. So like badal mina, it's very common. You open the fridge, you take something out. So but other things, you know that they're treif. You don't have to search for them to destroy them. Here, what does it mean search? Search means you search for it to destroy it. So, and there. No, but let's say arla, it's the same. But it's the same asr bana. No, but you can get rid of.
If you find it.
But I can get rid of Bal Yira, Bal Yimatzei, of owning. That's a problem of owning it. As we'll see, I can get rid of that by just nullifying it. So now I don't have that issur. So what am I concerned about? Why am I searching for it? I'm searching because I don't want to come along and eat it. And the Ran says that we're concerned that he won't nullify it properly. So therefore you have to destroy. Basically, when it says search, it means destroy. Search and then you destroy it. That's the beginning of it. It's the bracha that you make. Al bir chametz. Any place that chametz doesn't enter, it doesn't need to be searched. And regarding what did they say? Probably a quote from an earlier Mishnah that our Rebbe is incorporating into his Mishnah. Beishirs b'martiv. In other words, the oral law comes down from Moshe. So one of the earlier sages said that you have to search 2 rows in a wine cellar. So regarding what did they say that? The wine cellar doesn't sound like a place where you keep chametz. So it's the Gemara answers, or the Mishnah answers, makom shemachnisim bechametz. It's interesting. This Mishnah is like a Gemara. This is talking about a wine cellar where chametz actually enters. Why? Because it's possible that a person ran out of wine in the middle of the meal. That ever happened? And you have to go to the cellar to get another bottle. So the what's it called? The steward goes to the cellar and he's holding some food with him and he puts it down on a barrel. He takes a bottle and he forgets the food there, crumbs fall or whatever. So in other words, in the middle of the meal, he went in there with food. Beishamai says they have to check 2 rows across the whole wine cellar. It's the 2 upper outer rows. And the Gemara is going to explain exactly. I don't think we have a picture book for Pesachim, but we'll get a picture for it. Okay, now we go back to the original question here. My ar. What is the meaning of ar? Rav Huna Amar Nagi. Rav Huna says it means light. When we read the Mishnah, what does it mean? The 14th day in the morning, you search for chametz. What are you going to do? How do you use a candle? Probably means, the Mefarshim explain, it probably means when it's still dark. Like now is the morning of Monday morning. So I think it's Monday today. So that's the morning. It's still dark outside, but it's the morning. So you can use a candle, and it would be great because everyone's home. If there's no distractions in the morning, right? Everyone would be able to do it. Rav Yehuda Amar Leili. Rav Yehuda says it means the night. So it's really Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda that are discussing this. These are two students of Rav. They're discussing the translation of the word ar. I know what ar means. What's the pshat? I know ar means light. What is Rav Yehuda saying? It must mean that it's a euphemism. That they're calling it light. It means night. Right? He doesn't want to say something dark, so he says light. Okay. So it's like it's not an old-fashioned sense of humor, but it's like that's how they spoke. Kasal Kadaita, the Gemara understands. They think originally the Mandar Nagi Mamish, the one that says light is referring to light in the morning. Mandar Malele, the one that says night, Laili Mamish means the night. So we're discussing over here an actual halachic difference between Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda. Do you check for chametz in the morning or do you check for chametz at night? Meisvei, where's the question? We're going to quote different verses that are going to tell me that ar means day. Goes like this. Haboiker ar. The morning, the Gemara originally reads it like this. The morning, the light, or the day, the ar. Va'anashim shalchai, and the men were sent off. This is referring to the brothers of Yosef that are sent off in the morning, including Yosef's goblet is amongst them, and then they get caught and brought back. So it says in the morning, Anashim shalchai, the men were sent off. Alma ar yamamahu. You see, it says habaikar, ar, in the morning, the ar. The men were sent off. The Gemara says, 1 second. Miksiv ha'ar baikar. Does it say the ar, the morning? That would be a noun. That ar means morning. Habaikar ar ksiv. It says the morning shining. It turned it into a verb. So I know what ar is as a verb. It means to shine. This is
who just said that ar means morning, not light. I mean shining.
This is the Gemara.
Is that Rabbi Yehuda?
So that would be Rav Yehuda. That would be Rav Yehuda. No, he knows what it means as a verb. Question is, what does it mean as a noun?
So
this pasuk that says habaikar ar doesn't mean ar as a second, as a repetition of baikar. Habaikar, the morning, ar, the morning, no, habaikar ar, the shining of the morning. Ksiv, miksiv ar, baikar ksiv. Commandamar tzafranar, like it says, like as if someone says, the morning is shining. What exactly is Rav Yehuda Amarav coming to tell me over here? He says that a person should always enter into a city at Kitayv, and he should exit a city at Kitayv. It means when it's good. What is good? It sounds like the cookies. Remember Kitayv? So it means while it's still day. He should enter into a city while it's still day, and he should leave while it's after it gets light. So he may be adding something here. That's the question. What is Rav Yehuda saying? It has nothing to do with art. So Tosfos says over here, Rav Yehuda, this is just a secondary thing. It's not a continuation of the flow of the Gemara. What does Rashi say? Rashi says that you have to wait for, first of all, the concern over here is because of wild animals or because of listim, because of bandits. And so you should always travel by day.
That's what it has to do with dark.
And then in the morning, no, it's just saying why they left in the morning. Habaykar are that the day was shining when they left. I'm sorry. It's because you're supposed to travel.
He's using this to show that Ur is good for you. With Ur is daytime.
Right. So he's adding in that don't travel when it's Alaysa Shachar, because then it's still dark. You should wait for Netzachama. So Habaykar are the day was shining when they left. It was already after dawn. Okay. Someone said over here that it's because of, Taisa says it's because of demons. Meisvei, the Gemara has another question. Uka'ar Biker and light, which is the morning, or Ar, which is morning, Yizrach Shemesh, the sun will shine. Like morning, the sun will shine, referring to the tzaddikim. The sun will shine for the tzaddikim. Now, Alma Ar Yamamu, you see that Ar means day. It says Uka Ar Biker. That means, back to what we were referring to before, that at least according to what the Gemara was thinking, that the search for chametz takes place in the morning. Ar Lar Basar is in the morning. The Gemara says, Miksiv Ar Biker. Does it say Ar, which is Biker? No, Uka Ar Biker, Ksiv. It says, in like the shining morning, it says. So it change it to a verb as well. This is what it means. Rashi has one reading of this, which is a little difficult, but this is how it goes. And like the morning, the dawn, which is not very bright, but the sunrise comes and brightens it up. So too, that's how the shine, the continuous shine will take place for the tzaddikim in the world to come. In other words, the way the Mefarshim explain this is that it doesn't continually get brighter in the day. I mean, the day gets brighter, but then in the afternoon, it darkens. But for the tzaddikim, it's going to be like the morning, that just like sunrise brightens up the day and continues to get brighter for the morning hours. So too for tzaddikim will continue to get brighter and continue, like the morning as it brightens. Taisvus has a little bit of an issue with this. The wording doesn't fit perfectly. He says that what it means is not like the morning. He says like it means by noontime. Until 6 hours is the morning. So the brightness of chatzais will be the brightness of sunrise for the tzaddikim. Lots of love. Okay, whatever the case is, we switched R from being translated as morning, we switched it to being translated as shining. Meisvei, there's a good question. Vayikar Elikim la'ar yaim. Hashem called Ar Yaim. That's a good one. Okay, how are you going to get out of this? It says clearly that Ar means day. So Alma Ar Yamamahu, Ar means day. Rav Huna is right. Gemara says Hachi Kamar. L'meir uba karayim. It's a verb. To the light that's coming, he called it day. It wasn't Ar. It's not that Ar is day. He called the shining light. He called it day. Elamayatav alacheshach karalayla lamachshech uba karalayla bakam ladad says chavim yamamu. See. When it said l'meir uba karayim to the shining, what it means is that as it begins to shine, l'meir uba, as it begins to shine, which is from dawn, from Alaysa Shachar, that's already considered day. The shining is beginning the day. Okay. So the Gemara says, well, if that's the case, balacheshach karalayla means as it begins to darken, then that's the night. When does it begin to darken? Shkia. But we know that it's not really night until Tzeisa Kechavim. Brooks Sukkim are quoted from Nehemiah.
Maybe that time is the night.
It says that the people worked from the morning till night, and then it says they worked from dawn until Tzeisa Kechavim. So it can't be that it's night before Tzeisa Kechavim. So V'lachayshach karalayla, how could it be V'lachayshach uba, L'machshach uba karalayla, that it's night before it's really night? It's impossible. In other words, if it's going to be symmetrical to the morning, the way we're translating L'meir uba, that it starts from dawn, then you can't say that as it starts to darken, it's already night. Elahachi kamar. Rather, this is the pshat. Kaya rachmana lenahira. Upakte mitzvasa diyamama. I have a new translation to kara. Here we said call as if he's ascribing names for different things, as if Hashem is calling it something. That this is the name. No, that's not the pshat now. Karya Rachmana means the Eibishter summons the day. Doesn't call it something. He's summoning it. That's calling. He called him over, right? He summoned him. He summoned the light. And he commanded him for the mitzvahs of the day. Yes, and all the mitzvahs that we do on the day. He calls the darkness and he commands him for the mitzvahs of the night. Do you have any comments over there what the mitzvahs of the night could be? I saw one of my commentaries, Svir Zaimer, it's talking about the mitzvahs. Okay. Huh? Okay. Hanukkah. That's a rabbinic law. Okay. Meisvei. See, Rashi doesn't say it's talking about mitzvahs. Rashi says it's just talking about, he summoned him to do the work by day. To do the, whatever you're supposed to do by day, whatever light is supposed to perform by day, not mitzvahs. Yeah, I saw other commentators said that it had to do with mitzvahs. Okay, Meisvei. The Gemara has a question. Alu kol koich v'yar. All of the light stars will praise Hashem. Alma or Urtu, it must be the night. Koich v'yar, the stars by night. You don't see the stars by day. So it must be the stars by night. It's a raya to Rav Yehuda. We switched. No, it's a raya to Rav Yehuda. The Gemara says, Hachi kamar, halu kol kechav mamirim. No, it's not talking about the stars that shine by night. It's talking about stars that shine. Kechav mamirim, stars that shine. It's a verb. Koich v'yar. It's not a verb. It's an adjective. It's a modifier. It's the stars that shine, right? Only stars that shine praise Hashem. Stars that don't shine don't praise Hashem. What's the pshat? Stars that don't shine? Black holes. What is it? No, a star is a sun. A planet gets the light, right? But a star, what star doesn't shine? It must be like a black hole. How did they know about it? Radio waves. No. Okay. They could tell the bending of the light around it. So that those stars don't have to praise Hashem. But it says all the stars praise Hashem. This is what it's saying. The kechavim nami arhu. It's telling me a chiddush. It's telling me that the light of the stars is considered light. It's not a lot of light that it gives us, but nevertheless, it's considered light. What is the nafkamina? My nafkamina, what's the difference if it's called light? like something that kids can argue about. Is it light? Is it not light? What's the nafkamina? It says l'neider minar. If someone takes a neder that I'm not going to have any benefit from light, it's a very gloomy person. It says the Tanan was started in the Mishnah. Neider minar asr ba'ir shel kechavim. He's not allowed to have benefit from the light of the stars either. Aha. So back to koich ve'ar. What we're saying is that really all the stars praise Hashem. So why do you say koich ve'ar? Sounds like only them. No, we were trying to tell you a different chiddush. We were trying to tell you a chiddush that the light of the stars is considered light. We weren't trying to exclude other stars. We're trying to tell you all stars are included. All stars praise Hashem. Kol tzevav. But so why do you say ar? You're telling me a secondary chiddush. Wanted to point out that that's considered light. Meisvei. Where's the question? La'ar yakam reitzeach yikdalani be'avyin. The way the Gemara puts it here, it would probably mean in the morning, the murderer gets up and kills the poor man, and the impoverished man. And at night he acts as a thief. That means at night he breaks into houses, and in the morning he goes to the roads and he kills people and takes their money probably. I don't know what he takes if it's a poor man, but I guess he's a murderer. He drinks their blood. Okay, he's a bad guy. So whatever the case is, we see for us la'ar is the morning. We turn the page around. I'm at base now. Now we're already in the Masechta. The fact that it says by night he's ganav al ma'ar yamamahu, it must mean that ar must mean day. Was that a proof too? Rav Huna, right? That's what I was going to say. So ar yamamahu. I don't know if he holds sunrise. I think he just means as it begins to shine, which is in the morning. So that's what we did throughout the Pesachim when we switched it. We did that. But that was just avoiding the question on Rabbi Yehuda. But we would still need to say that it's, if you're using a candle, we would need to say that it's before sunrise. Otherwise, the Gemara tells us later that your candle can't. I mean, we're not going to say this is the pshat anyway, but it would need to make sense. And even the Havamina needs to make sense. It would have to be that it was dawn, it wasn't sunrise yet, I think. Yeah, but the light. Yeah, I saw one of the Mefarshim said that if you put a person in a cell, there's no windows, and you light a candle, he'll be able to tell the difference between day and night, because by day it won't shine as bright as it does by night. I forget which. The Gemara assumes that candles by day don't do anything. Okay.
I'm listening to all this. I'm just learning it on a totally different level. Probably wrong, but I'm thinking, all Jews will the Kochovet, right? So every Jew is a star, whether they're lit or not lit.
Oh, wow.
Woo! Enlightened or not enlightened. There will come a time in the future when all Jews will be enlightened. It's not a Mashiach. Then it won't really make a difference. The light of the day, the fact that you already have your won't make it. I mean, I can see all these things, Mamish, and their Hechal above, totally different.
Woo! Guys, you missed that. If you missed that, that was the most beautiful thing.
The Stein just taught us the Gemara as it's taught in Gan Eden. That
Wow.
that all the stars, all the stars are represent the Jewish people.
Oh, boy.
Some whether they're shining or not shining, and when Mashiach comes, they'll all shine. Okay, so the Gemara says like this: Hasam hachi kamar. This is what it's saying over there in that pasuk. We quoted, where is this pasuk? It's a pasuk in Iyov. Ipshitalach melsa kanahira da nafashis kasi reitzeach v'nitin latil benafshi. V'misafkalach melsa kalayla yeh beinacha kaganav le'nitin latil benafshi. It gives us a Sanhedrin sugya. Baba Machteres. It's also said the pasuk in Iyov is referring to this interesting concept that if a person breaks into the house, are you allowed to kill him? So it depends. If you suspect that he may end up defending himself, if you get up and try to protect your money, so then you're allowed to kill him because he turned into a raidif, even though he was only looking for money, but he turns into a murderer because he's going to defend himself if you get up and try to protect your money and attack him. However, if the person is only coming for money, but he's not going to hurt you, it's not going to turn into a murder. How do you know that? Well, if it's a father that's breaking into his son's house, so then the father's not going to kill the son. He just wanted his money. Sometimes that happens. I don't know about it, but sometimes. So the Gemara says it like this: Ipshitalach milsa kenahira. If the matter is so obvious to you, like light, danafashis kasi, that he's coming for life matters, that means he's going to kill the person, then reitzeachu v'nitin latil benafshi. But if it's a doubt, like the night is a doubt, then then you should just view him as a thief, and you can't protect yourself by killing him. So back to the pasuk. The pasuk says, if it's day, that means if you have clarity that the person is a ritzayach, is a murderer, then you can kill him. But if it's a doubt, Laila here means a doubt, it's a night, then you just view him as a thief.
Obviously, that's no fear and will kill, whereas the one who comes at night is really just trying to get in and get out because his intent is to kill, it's just to steal.
I don't know about that.
I thought what's the Ritzach and
No, Ritzach is a murderer. There's a difference between a ganav and a gazlan. A ganav steals in the dark, doesn't let anyone see him. And a gazlan steals in the open. Just, he's a mugger. He grabs your things and run. Then there's a list of Mizuyan who has a weapon with him. That's even worse. It's worse. Worse than what? So, okay. Meisvei. The Gemara is the question. Yechshachu keichvei nishvei yikavu la'or v'ayin bal yira ba'afapai shachar. So these depressing psukim from Iyov, where he says, starts off, Yavid Yomi Warriors, that the day that I was born should be lost, should be destroyed. It just goes on about how, anything that has to do with me should just disappear. So he says that the stars of the twilight will darken. They wait for day and it doesn't come. And they will not, their eyes will not see the dawn. Okay. Midika Amar Yakavala Ar Va'ayin. The fact that it says that they wait for Ar and it doesn't come. What does that mean? Alma Ar Yamamahu. They wait for day. They're waiting for day and it doesn't come. So we'll see. We'll see right now. When he answers, Hasam Melatud the Kalayat Le'iev L'Masling. Iev is cursing his own mazel. He's cursing himself. Amar Yei Rabat, it should be the will, the Letzvei Hach Gavril and Ahira, that this fellow, referring to himself, will wait for light. And he won't find it. But it doesn't mean day, it means light. So in other words, he switched it to a verb. And that's basically how we resolved most of these issues, is we switch it from a noun to a verb.
So that means you're saying that when it turns into a noun, it'll be less than
Then
night.
if it's a noun, then
So verb means light, light, and then noun and night.
so
Doesn't-
R as a noun is a machlekes Rav Huna and Rav Yehuda, if it's day or night. But R as a verb is no machlekes. So once we switch it to a verb, then we're free from any proofs. Okay, Meisvei, the Gemara has another question. Va'imar, and if I say, that darkness will conceal me, v'layla or ba'adeni, and the night will protect me, will be light for me. I guess it's saying the other way. That the darkness will conceal me. We say no. V'layla or ba'adeni. Maybe it's the same thing. Maybe it's a repetition. The night will shine. Doesn't sound like a protection. Okay. Alma ar yamamahu. But whatever the case is, that we're saying is that the night is going to be day. Or is he saying no, that it's not going to happen? That's how you have to read the pasuk. That but darkness will conceal me. That's not going to happen. Laila or ba'adeni. The night is going to be day for me. We see that that R means day. The Gemara says, Hasam hachi kamer David. This is what David's saying. Ani amarti achei shechi shufeni leilam haba shudayim elayayim. David's saying, I thought that the darkness, that the world to come was going to be dark for me. But achshav eilam hazeh shudayim elayla ar ba'adeni. But now that Hashem accepted my tshuva, it's interesting what Rashi says over here. It says Hashem accepted his tshuva because in the days of Shlomo, we know that Hashem forgave him when he wanted to bring the ark, the Aron, into the Kodesh HaKadoshim, and the doors went open. So he said, "Open up in the merit of David," and the doors open. So what David HaMelech is saying is that I thought that even in the world to come, it was going to be dark. It turns out that in this world, which is normally dark, it's actually going to be light. So we switch it again to a verb. Meisvei. The Gemara could have told me the whole time. And this, the Gemara could have told me that Divrei Torah l'chad and Divrei Chachamim l'chad. That you're quoting Pesukim to prove what the word "ar" means. That's not necessarily the way the Tanaim use the word "ar." Right? The language, there's the usage of the language. What is it being used? And the Tanaim would tell us how it was used. They would say it in the way it's used. They're giving proscriptive definitions. We're quoting Pesukim, but that doesn't mean that that's the actual usage. So the Gemara could have said this the whole time. Anyway, now the Gemara says, Rabbi Yehuda Aimer Baitkin ar arba asar u'bar brasa shachris u'b'shasa b'yah. Rabbi Yehuda says that you can search for chametz or arba asar. Sounds like the night of the 14th. Bar brasa shachris, the morning of the 14th. B'shasa b'yah, not the time of the burning. Midikam Rabbi Yehuda Baitkin ar arba asar bar brasa shachris almar urtahu. Or must mean night, because he then goes on to say the morning. Can't mean morning. It's a strong proof. Shema Mina, it's a very good proof. Okay, really, this feels like from the way the Gemara works that Shema Mina is like, okay, we have it settled. For some reason, the Gemara goes on and keeps attacking. While we're at it, Meisvei. The Gemara has another question. The Gemara later on discusses if you're allowed to do work on Erev Pesach. And it says that in certain places they did work, some places they don't do work. So in the places that you don't do work, from what time don't you do work? So it's a machlekes. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Eimer, Mishas Ha'ar. from the time of Or. Rabbi Yehuda Mishas Netzachama. Rabbi Yehuda says from Netzachama. We'll see in a minute what it means. It says from sunrise. Amali Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov says to Rabbi Yehuda, he asks Rabbi Yehuda, when do you have a day that you have to stop working in the middle of the day? We never find that. It's either the whole day is Aser Basiyas Malacha or not. Erev Shabbos, what? Thank you. Yeah, that would be preferable, but it's not Aser. Okay, that's his question, Tim. From his question, what do we see? Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov must hold that the entire day is Aser Basiyas Malacha. Now, when we say day, we probably mean night and day, because that's a full day. So we go back to Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov, Mishasa Ar, from the time of Ar, what is that referring to? The beginning of the night. So now, right, you have a raya over here that Ar means night. Otherwise, his argument to him wouldn't fit. Okay, let's go further. Amalei. So Rabbi Yehuda responds, "Hu atzmei yechiach." What are you telling me? That you don't have a day that's partially Aser? That day itself, the 14th of Nisan, is itself the biggest proof. That half the day you're allowed to eat chametz, half the day you're not allowed to eat chametz. So half the day you're allowed to do work, and half the day you're not. What's half the day? The night until sunrise, and the rest of the day after sunrise you're not allowed to do work. Now, me the Kamar Rabbi Yehuda b'Shas Netzachama Alma or the Kamar Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov or too. Since Rabbi Yehuda says that it's from sunrise, then it must mean that Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov is referring to the night. Gemara says lie. No, my R. What does it mean R when Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov is talking? Amud Shachar. It means dawn. And second, that's a problem. Ihachi the Kamalei Hechamatini Yem Shemiktas Mutabasias Malacha Miktas Asabasias Malacha. When he argues with Rabbi Yehuda, he says, where do you find a day that's partially permissible to do work and possibly partially forbidden to do work? Name enough shay. Let him talk to himself. He just violated his own argument. Ha'ika Laila, the Kashar Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov permits the night. Where it says Hachikama. No, this is what it means. According to me, it's possible because of Shkachna, the Kapalgi Rabbanan ben Yamama Laila. We find that the rabbis make a difference between day and night. Where do we find that? The Tanan. Gabi Tainus Tzibur, it says by a fast, a public fast, until when is he allowed to eat? He's allowed to eat until dawn. And Rab Shimon Amad Kresa Gever is allowed to eat until the rooster crows. So Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov says that there is a distinction between day and night rabbinically for fast days. So too over here, when the rabbis forbid work on Erev Pesach, there's a distinction between day and night. Where is that distinction drawn? Where is that line? That's dawn. However, but according to you, Rabbi Yehuda, that you said that the distinction is from Netzachama, from sunrise. Where do you find that the rabbis divide the day itself? That's a little surprising. Day itself, after dawn, gets divided. The part of the day you're allowed to do work, and part of the not amalei huatzma yechiach. Right. So he's using that as an example. That right now, this is what he says: huatzma yechiach. That day itself, Yudalid Nisan itself. It's partially permissible to eat and partially forbidden to eat chametz. The Gemara says, Yasi, Shaper Kamalei Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov. Rabbi Yehuda gave a good response. He says, look, Erev Pesach, we see it's divided. Half the day yes, half the day no. So Hachi Kamalei Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Elazar was saying the following. Amina lachana malacha derabanan. I'm talking about rabbinic work. Va'at amet li chametz deraisa. Da'ad hachas rachmana va'ad hachas shara rachmana. What are you bringing a proof for? I know the Torah, the Eibishter could do anything. He could tell me that until 12 o'clock, whatever, that you're allowed to eat. After 12, you're not allowed to eat. I'm talking about what the rabbis do. Would the rabbis make a distinction between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock? The Torah can tell me anything. But where did the rabbis come in and make a distinction between before sunrise and after sunrise when it comes to work? The idach. So what was Rabbi Yehuda saying? Sheis derabanan. He was saying, yeah, I'll show you where the rabbis make a distinction. Before noon, really from half the day on Erev Pesach, from half the day on, it's forbidden to have chametz. But we don't stop then from having chametz. We stop 2 hours earlier. It's the time for eating, the time for burning. But that's rabbinic times. So he's telling him back, you see, hu atzma yechiach. There are rabbinic times on Erev Pesach itself when you're allowed to eat chametz, when you're not allowed to eat chametz. Before the Torah times, which is from Chatzos and on. There's 2 hours before. Yeah.
A couple hours in the day you're allowed, a couple hours you're not allowed.
Yeah.
That's about it.
The Gemara then says, but Rabbi Elazar ben Yaakov says, "Vida charchaku David Rabban deraisa." That's not a real defined distinction in middle of a day. That's just the Torah says noon. We don't know. We're afraid of a cloudy day, so we brought it back an hour or two to because of that the cloudy day. But that's not that the rabbis themselves made up a time that's partial part of the day. Okay, Meisvei. There's a question. When do you hold up the torches go from mountain to mountain to tell people what day is Rosh Chodesh? You only do it ala chedesh shnei b'zmanei lakachi. You only do it on a month. You only hold up those torches to let people know what day is Rosh Chodesh. You only do it for a month that was chaser, 29-day month. 29-day month. When the seeing of the new moon was on the 30th. That means that day is Rosh Chodesh. And Beimasai Masi and Masuis, and when do they hold up those torches? La'ari Burei. The night preceding what would have been the leap day, the 31st day, right? So they do it the 30th by night. They hold up those torches because they saw the moon that day on the 30th, which means the 30th was Rosh Chodesh. Right? Otherwise, the 31st would be Rosh Chodesh, would be the first. So when did they hold up the torches? After they see the moon. They saw it sometime during the day on the 30th. So they hold it up on the 30th by night, which means the night preceding the 31st. La'ari Burei. Imasei Masin Masuis, question mark. La'ari Burei. When do they do that? La'ari Burei. Alma or Tehu. No, it means the time. You see that that or means night. Shema mina. Okay. Meisvei hayayim kalayla makaval mezbeach la'ira toin kiddush yadayim v'raglayim divrei Rebbe. It's an interesting thing. If someone is doing work the whole night on the mezbeach, in the morning he has to wash his hands and feet because even though he didn't sleep, because just the change of the day requires negel vasa.
Wow.
It's brought in Shulchan Aruch actually. Some say this. So the Gemara says
It only has to do with night today.
night today. Only night today.
So if I wake up at night, I don't have to wash my hands?
No. If you wake up by night, when you wake up, you wash your hands. The question is if when it becomes light, if you have to wash your hands again because of that switch. According to this, you have to wash your hands again because of the switch. Now the problem is it says La'ira ta'in kiddush yadayim v'raglayim. You see that it's the morning. In the morning. It says no, Oira, shiny. Oira, that's a different word. That doesn't tell me anything. Okay, let's leave it over here.
Oh yeah, welcome back to the time.